England, the very name seems to conjure images of ancient castles silhouetted against a moody sky, of green hills rolling endlessly towards a dramatic wild coastline. It's a place where the landscape itself feels like a living painting, shaped by centuries of wind, rain, and the footsteps of countless generations. It's a country where the past is not merely a memory but a constant, living presence, woven into the very fabric of the landscape and the character of its people. Here, history is not locked away in museums. It breathes in the cobbled streets, the ancient ruins, and the traditions that continue to thrive in everyday life. As one part of the United Kingdom, alongside its neighbours Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, England possesses a personality all its own. Its identity is shaped by centuries of shared history, yet it stands apart with its own customs, dialects, and a sense of humour that is both dry and endearing. It's a place where history is preserved with a quiet pride, from the grandest cathedrals to the humblest village church. Yet it is also a land of constant reinvention, where modern life buzzes alongside traditions that have endured for centuries. In the heart of bustling cities, glass towers rise beside medieval spires, and in the countryside, ancient customs are celebrated with as much enthusiasm as the latest innovations. One must always be prepared for the famously unpredictable weather, which can offer 4 seasons in a single afternoon, but this only adds to its unique charm. The ever-changing skies are a constant companion, painting the landscape in shifting hues and making every visit feel like a new experience. The story of England is etched into its very foundations, a saga that unfolds across misty moors and within the walls of formidable fortresses. Each stone, each ruin whispers tales of battles fought, alliances forged, and lives lived in the shadow of history. Consider the magnificent sight of Stonehenge, its colossal stones standing sentinel on Salisbury Plain for millennia. This ancient monument, shrouded in mystery, has inspired awe and wonder for generations, drawing visitors from around the world to marvel at its enduring presence. These silent giants, aligned with the solstices, pose a riddle from our prehistoric ancestors, a powerful testament to a time long before recorded history. The purpose of Stonehenge remains a subject of debate, but its significance as a symbol of human ingenuity and spiritual curiosity is undeniable. Then fast forward through the ages to the medieval era, and you find yourself in places like York, where you can walk upon the same stone walls that once repelled invaders. The city's fortifications are a living reminder of England's turbulent past, offering panoramic views and a tangible connection to those who came before. The city's great minster soars towards the heavens, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture, while the narrow, crooked street known as the Shambles makes you feel as though you've stepped directly into the pages of a history book. Every corner reveals another layer of the city's rich heritage, from medieval guild halls to bustling markets. Further south, the landscape tells a different tale, one of kings, queens, and literary giants. Here, the rolling fields and stately homes evoke stories of royal intrigue, artistic inspiration, and the enduring power of imagination. In Stratford-upon-Avon, the world of William Shakespeare comes vividly to life. The town's streets are steeped in the legacy of the bard, whose words have shaped not only English literature, but the very language itself. Here, you can wander through the timber-framed house where the great playwright was born, and visit the theatre dedicated to his enduring works. The air seems charged with creativity, and performances continue to draw audiences from every corner of the globe. It's a remarkable experience to stand in the very rooms where such creativity blossomed. The sense of history is palpable, as if the echoes of Shakespeare's imagination still linger in the air. Not far away, the Cotswolds present a vision of idyllic England, a region of gentle hills and honey-coloured stone villages like Bibury. The landscape here is a patchwork of meadows, hedgerows, and ancient woodlands, offering a peaceful retreat from the rush of modern life. Its famous Arlington Row, a line of weavers' cottages from the 14th century, is so quintessentially English that it has even been featured inside the British passport, a small but perfect emblem of the nation's picturesque beauty. Strolling along these lanes, you can almost imagine the generations of craftsmen and villagers who once called this place home. This deep connection to history extends even to the southern coast, where the iconic white cliffs of Dover stand as a brilliant white bastion against the sea. Their sheer faces have witnessed centuries of arrivals and departures, standing as silent guardians at the edge of the land. For centuries, these chalk cliffs were the first sight of home for returning sailors and a symbol of national resilience. They have inspired poets, artists, and all who have gazed upon them, representing hope, endurance, and the spirit of England itself. Perched atop them is Dover Castle, one of the country's largest and most historically significant fortresses, which has guarded the English Channel since Roman times. Its walls have withstood sieges, witnessed royal dramas, and played a crucial role in the defense of the realm. From these ancient stones to the rolling green countryside that stretches inland, England presents a landscape that is both dramatic and gentle, a place where every castle, village, and pathway seems to have a story to tell, inviting you to slow down and listen to the echoes of the past. Whether you are drawn by history, natural beauty, or the simple pleasure of discovery, England's storied stones and rolling hills promise a journey unlike any other. To truly understand England, one must look beyond its landmarks and famous sites, and instead pay close attention to the subtle, everyday rituals that quietly shape the nation's identity. Rituals that play out in the winding streets of York, the vibrant markets of Manchester, and the tranquil lanes of the Cotswolds. It is in these daily customs, passed down through generations, that the heartbeat of English culture can be felt most strongly, woven into the fabric of ordinary life. From the way people greet each other in Liverpool to the foods they share in seaside towns like Whitby. These are the traditions that provide a comforting rhythm to life, observed with a gentle reverence from the smallest village, like Laycock, to the busiest city, such as London. Whether in the rolling hills of the Lake District or the heart of Birmingham, these customs offer a sense of continuity and belonging. Perhaps none is more famous than the ritual of afternoon tea, a tradition that has become synonymous with English refinement and hospitality, especially in elegant tea rooms of Bath and the grand hotels of London. What began as a simple bridge between lunch and a late dinner for the Duchess of Bedford has evolved into a cherished cultural moment, celebrated in homes, hotels and tea rooms across the country, from the stately homes of Oxfordshire to the seaside parlours of Brighton. It is an excuse to pause, to sit down with friends or family, and indulge in delicate sandwiches, warm scones with clotted cream and jam, and a pot of freshly brewed tea. The ritual is as much about the company and conversation as it is about the food itself, whether in a bustling Cambridge cafe or a quiet Devon village. It's a simple pleasure, yet it speaks volumes about the English appreciation for civility and taking a moment of calm. In a world that often feels rushed, afternoon tea is a gentle reminder to slow down and savour the present, something cherished from the gardens of Kent to the tea rooms of Harrogate. If afternoon tea represents a moment of quiet refinement, then the pub is its lively, boisterous counterpart, a place where the energy of the community comes alive, whether in a centuries-old inn in Stratford-upon-Avon or a bustling city pub in Newcastle. The public house is far more than just a place to get a drink. It is the undisputed social hub of the community, a cornerstone of British culture. For centuries, pubs have been gathering places for celebration, commiseration, and everything in between, from the historic taverns of Norwich to the riverside pubs of Oxford. Here, people from all walks of life gather to chat, laugh, debate, and share stories over a pint of ale. The pub is a place where social barriers are lowered, and everyone is welcome to join in the conversation, whether in a Cornish fishing village or the heart of Sheffield. The pub is where friendships are forged, local news is exchanged, and a powerful sense of camaraderie is felt. Games of darts, impromptu sing-alongs, and lively debates are all part of the experience, from the moorland inns of Yorkshire to the lively pubs of Bristol. Whether it's a cosy, centuries-old inn with a roaring fireplace in the Lake District or a bustling city tavern in Leeds, the pub remains the living room of the nation, a place where everyone is welcome, and the conversation flows as freely as the beer. It is here that the spirit of community is most tangible, especially on cold winter nights or after a local football match. Of course, no discussion of English culture would be complete without mentioning the national obsession, football. The game is played in parks in Birmingham, watched in pubs in Portsmouth, and discussed in every corner of the country. The modern rules of the game were first codified in Cambridge back in 1848, And since then it has grown into a passion that unites and divides the country in equal measure every weekend. From local pitches in Sunderland to grand stadiums in London, football is a thread that runs through the national consciousness. The stadiums of teams like Manchester United in Manchester or Liverpool FC in Liverpool are more than just sports venues. They are described as veritable temples where tens of thousands of devoted fans gather to worship their heroes. The anticipation before a match, the collective gasp at a near miss, and the eruption of joy at a goal are all part of the spectacle. The roar of the crowd, the shared hope and despair, and the unwavering loyalty to one's team create an atmosphere of electric intensity. For many, supporting a football club is a lifelong commitment, passed down from parent to child, whether in Newcastle, London, or beyond. It is a fundamental part of the national identity, a source of immense pride and occasionally profound heartbreak. The highs and lows of the football season are felt far beyond the stadium walls, echoing through homes and communities from Southampton to Sheffield. Beyond these grand traditions, the culture is also rooted in the land itself, particularly in its culinary offerings. English food, often humble and hearty, tells the story of the nation's regions and its people's resourcefulness, from the seafood of Cornwall to the pies of Melton Mowbray. One of the most famous examples is cheddar cheese, which takes its name from the village of Cheddar in Somerset. This cheese, now enjoyed around the world, remains a symbol of English craftsmanship and tradition. Here, the cheese was traditionally matured in the cool, damp conditions of natural caves, a process that gives it its distinctive sharp flavour. The care and patience required for this process reflect the English respect for time-honoured methods, especially in rural Somerset. This focus on local produce and time-honoured methods is a hallmark of English food heritage. From Cornish pasties, with their flaky crusts and savoury fillings found in Cornwall's coastal towns, to Melton Mowbray pork pies, which are protected by law, and made only in a specific region of Leicestershire, these foods are more than just sustenance, they are a celebration of place and tradition. These regional specialities are a delicious reminder that England's character is shaped not only by its people and its history, but also by the very soil beneath its feet, from the green fields of Kent to the rugged moors of Northumberland. In every bite, every tradition, and every gathering, the enduring rhythms of English life continue to echo through the ages, connecting past and present in a uniquely English way. At the heart of England lies London, a sprawling, dynamic metropolis where history and modernity collide in the most spectacular fashion. This city is a living tapestry, woven from centuries of tradition and innovation, where every street corner seems to tell a story and every building whispers echoes of the past. The skyline itself tells this story, with the medieval grandeur of the Tower of London and the elegant silhouette of Tower Bridge sharing the horizon with the gleaming, futuristic spire of the Shard. Here, ancient stone fortresses stand shoulder to shoulder with glass skyscrapers, creating a visual dialogue between eras. A journey through the city is a journey through time. As the sun rises and sets, the city transforms, revealing new faces and stories with every passing hour. You can stand before the magnificent Palace of Westminster, listening for the chime of its famous bell, Big Ben, a sound that has marked the passage of time for generations of Londoners and visitors alike, and then, just moments later, descend into the world's oldest underground railway, the Tube, a marvel of engineering that whisks millions of people through the city's depths each day. The Tube is more than just a means of transport. It's a lifeline, connecting neighbourhoods, cultures and histories beneath the bustling streets above. London is a city that proudly displays its heritage while relentlessly pushing towards the future. The juxtaposition of old and new is everywhere, from the cobbled lanes of the East End to the soaring towers of Canary Wharf. The cultural wealth of the capital is simply staggering, and much of it is remarkably accessible. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a lifelong resident, there's always something new to discover. An exhibition, a festival, a hidden gem tucked away in a quiet square. Many of its world-famous museums, such as the British Museum and the National Gallery, offer free entry, inviting everyone to gaze upon treasures from across the globe, from the Rosetta Stone to masterpieces by Van Gogh. These institutions are not just repositories of artifacts, but vibrant spaces where the world's stories are told and retold for new generations. After a day of exploring history, the evening comes alive in the West End, where the world's finest theatre shows light up the stage. The energy here is electric, with audiences from all walks of life gathering to be swept away by drama, music and laughter. This combination of historical depth and vibrant contemporary culture makes London a truly global city. It's a place where tradition and innovation are not at odds, but rather work together to create something uniquely compelling. Even the iconic red telephone boxes, now largely obsolete, are being cleverly repurposed as mini-libraries or defibrillator stations, a perfect example of how London honours its past while adapting for the present. These small touches reveal a city that values both memory and progress, finding new life in old forms. Yet England's intellectual and architectural soul can also be found in its two great university cities, Oxford and Cambridge. These cities are sanctuaries of learning, where the pursuit of knowledge has shaped not only the landscape, but the very spirit of the nation. For centuries, these two have been locked in a friendly but fierce rivalry. Their annual boat race is just one expression of a competition that has inspired generations of students to strive for excellence, both in the classroom and beyond. Oxford, home to one of the world's oldest universities, is a city of dreaming spires where medieval colleges with immaculate lawns line the streets. The atmosphere is almost otherworldly, as if time itself slows down to allow for contemplation and discovery. Its Bodleian Library and the stunning Radcliffe Camera are temples of knowledge that have inspired scholars for generations and even served as a magical backdrop for the Harry Potter films. These buildings are not just architectural marvels, they are living monuments to the power of ideas. To wander through its cobbled lanes is to walk in the footsteps of prime ministers, poets and scientists who have shaped our world. Every stone and archway seems to hold a secret, waiting to be uncovered by the next curious mind. Just a short journey away, Cambridge offers a similar atmosphere of scholarly prestige, set along the tranquil banks of the River Cam. The city's colleges, with their ancient courtyards and leafy gardens, create a sense of peace and inspiration. Punting along the river provides a perfect view of magnificent King's College and its breathtaking chapel, a jewel of late Gothic architecture. The gentle rhythm of the water and the sight of students gliding by in wooden boats evoke a timeless sense of tradition. Cambridge also holds a distinguished place in scientific history. It was here, at the Cavendish Laboratory, that the very structure of DNA was discovered, a breakthrough that changed our understanding of life itself. The city continues to be a hub for innovation, attracting brilliant minds from around the world. Both cities are not just repositories of knowledge, but living, breathing communities where the pursuit of learning feels woven into the very stone of the buildings, representing the pinnacle of English academic tradition. In these hallowed halls and bustling streets, the past and future of education meet, inspiring all who pass through to dream, discover, and shape the world anew. Beyond the grand cities, the true essence of England often reveals itself in the quieter corners of its diverse landscape. But the cities themselves are vibrant threads in this tapestry, each alive with people and stories. From the rugged coastlines to the serene countryside, England's cities and wild places are equally captivating. In the northwest, the Lake District National Park is a place of sublime natural beauty, a breathtaking panorama of glacial lakes, deep valleys and craggy mountains. This is the scenery that famously inspired the romantic poets like William Wordsworth, who found profound meaning in its fells and waters. Whether you are hiking up a misty peak or simply enjoying the view across Lake Windermere, the region's dramatic and poetic atmosphere is utterly captivating, offering a powerful sense of peace and a connection to the raw beauty of nature. Yet England's cities pulse with life and culture. In London, people stroll along the Thames, gather at bustling markets and marvel at iconic landmarks. Manchester's streets are alive with music, art and football fans, while Birmingham's canals and shopping districts buzz with families and friends. On the south coast, Brighton's seafront is filled with beachgoers and street performers, and in Leeds, students and locals mingle in lively markets and historic arcades. Liverpool's waterfront echoes with music and laughter, while Oxford's ancient colleges are alive with students cycling and punting on the river. In Newcastle, friends gather along the quayside, and in Dover, visitors explore the legendary White Cliffs and historic castle. Travel to the far southwest and you'll discover Cornwall, a peninsula of myth and legend that juts defiantly into the Atlantic. Its coastline is a stunning contrast of jagged, windswept cliffs and sheltered coves with golden beaches, making it a haven for surfers and artists alike. The unique quality of the light here has drawn painters to coastal towns like St. Ives for generations. The region is also steeped in the legend of King Arthur, whose story is linked to the dramatic ruins of Tintagel Castle perched precariously on the cliffs. From the historic fishing villages like Polperro, with their narrow, winding alleys and tales of smuggling, to the futuristic biospheres of the Eden Project, Cornwall is a land of fascinating contrasts. The English countryside is also dotted with villages that seem to have been frozen in time, offering a glimpse into a more tranquil past. In Wiltshire, the village of Castlecombe is so perfectly preserved that it has no modern road signs or overhead wires, making it a popular filming location for period dramas. Further north, in Devon, the impossibly steep village of Clovelly is built down a cliffside, its single cobbled street inaccessible to cars. Here, donkeys are still used to transport goods up and down the hill, a charming tradition that has survived for centuries. These picturesque villages are not just tourist attractions, they are living communities that proudly maintain their unique heritage. Ultimately, England's special character lies in this incredible variety. It is a country where you can spend the morning exploring a prehistoric stone circle, the afternoon in a bustling modern city. Perhaps London, Manchester, Birmingham, Brighton, Leeds, Liverpool, Oxford, Newcastle or Dover, each alive with people and energy, and the evening in a quiet country pub that has been serving locals for 500 years. It's a place where ancient history, deep-rooted traditions and stunning natural landscapes come together to create a rich and endlessly fascinating tapestry. For both the traveller seeking adventure and the local who calls it home, England offers a journey of constant discovery, a land that is at once familiar and full of surprises, forever old and forever new.